Good afternoon, everyone. It's 4 o'clock, so I'll call the meeting to order. Our first item is approval of the agenda. I have a motion moved by Tom and seconded by Victor that the agenda for the regular council meeting held October the 12th, 2021 be approved as presented. Is there any amendments, Kathy?
No, none at all.
Okay, so as presented. Any discussion? All those, oh, Bill, did you have a question?
No, I'm voting.
Oh, well, you just wait till I ask the question. All
Sure.
those in favor? Now you need to vote. Carried. All right. Okay, is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof of any item on tonight's agenda by any member of council? Okay, seeing none, we'll note that in the minutes. I have a motion moved by Brent and seconded by Philip. Recording in progress. Okay, moved by Brent and seconded by Philip that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on September the 28th, 2021 be approved as presented. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor? Carried. Okay, mayor's remarks. I really don't have any other than I hope everyone had a safe and fruitful Thanksgiving over the past few days. The weather certainly cooperated and this week is going to be excellent as well. Deputy Gowdy, do you have anything to add?
The only thing I could think of that was very sad news about Councillor Pat Barr from South Frontenac passing away.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Apparently she had been quite ill, which I didn't know, but very sad news. I haven't seen anything about funeral arrangements yet, but maybe that will come. Yeah. All right. Any deferred items?
None.
Staff reports. We'll start with Andy, Development Services. By the look of this report, Andy's been a very busy lad. I don't see him with us tonight. I will read the motion and moved by Bill and seconded by Nikki that council received the construction details report September 2021 for information. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. I have a motion moved by Victor and seconded by Brent. Whereas the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing announced phase 3 of the Municipal Modernization Program implementation stream, and whereas the deadline to submit an expression of interest.
Excuse me, Madam Mayor,
Yep.
that's further down the agenda. You've got Public Works.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh,
The activity
sorry, I do have, I've got them mixed up. Let me take that back. We're on number 4,
Yes.
which is moved by Philip and seconded by Tom. That council received the Public Works activity report as prepared by the Public Works manager dated October the 12th, 2021 for information. And Tyson is with us for any questions or comments. Nikki, go ahead.
Tyson, great job on the resurfacing on 38. Only one small question. Are we going to get better painted lines on there at night? And when it's foggy, it's really hard driving through there.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you, Tyson.
Through you, Madam Mayor, to Councillor Gowdy. I had to wait a couple days for there's still a little bit of small particles of asphalt and aggregate that needed to be swept off and blown off the road. The paving company recommended wait a couple days before painting the permanent lines. Got a hold of Trillium Painting today. they should be able to have it done before the end of the week.
Thank you very much.
Good. Good. Bill?
Yes, through you,
Go
Madam
ahead,
Mayor. Through you, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
To Tyson, I'm just wondering, Tyson, if you would give a quick update as to why that happened so quickly on 38.
Through you, Madam Mayor, to Councillor McDonald. We were waiting quite a while for this project and starting to worry if it was going to be able to get done this season or not. And the asphalt contractor got a window of a couple days. But when they left South Frontenac, they did the same treatment on some of South Frontenac's roads. And we got a last minute call. Can we fit them in right now? Is your road ready? And we quickly did a little bit of patching and got it ready again for the second time this year. And they were able to fit us in. So I'm sorry I didn't make it into this activity report.
Okay. It's a good job. Tom?
Thank you, Your Worship. Tyson, wondering, when you're doing the line pitting on 38, will you be able to do the Arden Road, or is that not on the table this year?
Sorry, a dump truck went by. Through you, Madam Mayor. The Arden Road is on the list, and also along with Wagerville Road after the asphalt rejuvenation. And a small section, there's one other road that I forget, but both foremen submitted a list to me today of roads that either got missed or weren't ready due to construction. So all the roads should be ready. If there's any other ones that were missed that I don't know of, please send me an email.
Thanks, Tyson.
Okay. Okay, no other questions or comments? Call the vote. All those in favor of the motion? Carried. I see Cindy is with us now. Hi, Cindy. Maybe she can't hear us. Can you hear us, Cindy? Okay. I'm going to
You have no
assume she
volume.
can't hear us and we're okay.
Yes, she was having problems getting in. She had just texted me and she said that she has no volume.
Okay. Cindy Dickman, do you suggest that she go back out and come back in again?
That might work. I don't think there's anything I can do at this end to help her out, but sometimes logging out and logging back in does work.
Cindy, can you hear us now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
Yay, I finally did
Good.
it.
All right. We're in business. All right. I have a motion moved by Victor and seconded by Brent. Whereas the Municipal Affairs and Housing announced phase 3 of the Municipal Modernization Program implementation stream. And whereas the deadline to submit an expression of interest is October the 19th, 2021. And whereas the review stream will provide funding for municipalities to undertake expenditure reviews with the goal of finding efficiencies and lowering costs in the longer term. And whereas a funding opportunity is available, which would help cover some of the costs related to the implementation of a decision support module with Public Sector Digest and an online recreation booking software, which would enable residents to view available dates, times in each hall and book their own hall rentals. And whereas this automated process would save staff time and allow instant viewing access for residents, caretakers, and staff alike. And whereas the treasurer is recommending that we submit an expression of interest to the Municipal Modernization Program Intake 3 implementation stream. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Council authorizes staff to apply for phase 3 of the Municipal Modernization Grant Program for the decision support module with PSD and an online recreation booking software. And further, that upon approval of the application, the Council commits to putting the 25% required municipal contribution towards the project in the 2022 budget. Any discussion? Michael is with us and can answer any questions we might have. Brent, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is great, and I certainly hope that we're able to do it. I guess the question I have is, are there other functions that we undertake that could possibly be affected by this? I don't want to suggest that it's possible, but I know Andy is a very busy guy. Is there an opportunity that if we were able to do this and it worked, we would be able to take things like planning applications and various other functions in the township and apply these types of solutions to them? We're just getting busier and busier, and there might be an opportunity there.
Through your worship to Councillor Cameron, the one thing I didn't put in my report, which I made a note here of, for the recreation booking software, we could use it for the swim program or other things that come on, like the arena sells different confectionery items. We could add services like computer rental, chairs and whatnot. I don't believe it could be used for the building department or planning department. That being said, the second phase of the Municipal Modernization Fund grant is talking about taking permits online, which hopefully should help him a little bit. Certainly, we're always looking for efficiencies, and working with the county is one of those. But I don't believe that in terms of the recreation booking software, we only looked at one. We would look at more if we actually went forward with it, but the one that we did look at, I don't believe it would help in the planning department in this particular case.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor of the motion to apply for the grant?
Thank you.
Opposed? Can I see hands again, please? Okay, I think I must be frozen. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Tom?
Yeah.
Everybody voted in favor of.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Okay.
not everybody.
Motion's. It's my good old internet tonight. Motion's carried. All right. We have a motion moved by Cindy and seconded by Bill that Council for the Township of Central Frontenac accept this tax sale report prepared by the treasurer for information. Any questions or comments on the tax sale report? Seeing none. All those in favor? Carried. Right. We have a motion moved by Cindy and seconded by Victor. Whereas request for proposal number CS 2021-02 for 2 failed sale properties was issued on August 26, 2021 and closed on September the 30th, 2021 at 3 p.m. with 2 bids being received. And whereas the treasurer is recommending that council accept the 2 bids received as listed under attachment A and to declare them surplus. Now therefore be it resolved that council accept the recommendation of the treasurer and accept the 2 bids received, one in the amount of $900 and the other in the amount of $2,800, and to declare them surplus. And further that CAO clerk and treasurer be authorized to sign any sale documentation required to complete the transfer. And further that any proceeds received from the sale of a surplus property stemming from the tax sale process be directed to the tax sale recovery account. Discussion? No discussion. All those in favor? Carried. Cindy, I'm going to assume that you're going to say no if you're not in favor, okay? All right, we're at administration. I have a motion moved by Nikki and seconded by Tom. Whereas council supported proceeding with a grant application with Federation of Canadian Municipalities to assist with funding for the preparation of an engineering feasibility study to determine the viability of communal services for the former Charlotte Lake School site. And whereas the funding application to FCM was successful and therefore staff proceeded with the assistance and partnership of the County of Frontenac to issue a request for proposal for the completion of an engineering feasibility study in August 2021. And whereas no bids were received by the original due date, so the RFP closing date was extended until October the 4th, 2021, with one compliant bid received. Now, therefore, be it resolved that council accept the bid received from FOTAN in the amount of $60,037.50, excluding HST, and that the clerk CAO be authorized to sign a purchase order for this amount. And further, that the mayor and CAO be authorized to sign any documents required to finalize the contract. Any discussion? Bill?
Yes, through you, Madam Mayor, I don't know who will answer the question, but what kind of history do we have in Fulton? I never heard of this company before. Can anybody update me on some of their work and what their history is?
I think Joe Gallivan can certainly answer that further for you in more detail, Bill. But FOTAN has been around for quite some time. They have done other projects, and I think I don't know if you remember when we were talking about doing, the revitalization or, the business, not the communal servicing, but our other community improvement. Remember when we were doing the community improvement plan back a few years ago? There was big drawings done, or, and it was FOTAN that had done those drawings for us of what the streetscape could look like, especially at Mike Dean's, out at the corner of Highway 7 and 38, some of those buildings, but it was FOTAN that had done that. So they've been around for a while.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor.
They have worked with the county for a number of years, and I've sat at presentations with them at the county planning advisory table.
Okay.
So they're quite reputable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion? Oh, Tom?
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. Just a quick question, if I may, through Your Worship to Kathy. What is the scope of this communal services report, or like this report we're going to be getting back? What are they looking at as far as their mandate?
In the RFP, and I haven't got that right in front of me, and I can certainly provide you any further details. They're going to look at the school site to see how many, whether it is feasible to do communal servicing for on that site, that we could add, and they'll tell us exactly how many senior housing complex we could put up on that site. So it's all going to depend on that, I think, more than anything, as to tell us for sure how many we're going to be able to put, whether it's 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units. And there is we can also extend maybe those services, the communal services, for instance, like our community hall, that are right in the proximity to the school site. So.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We'll provide you any further details as we go along.
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Madam Mayor, I believe that.
Sorry, go ahead.
I believe Philip had his hand up for a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Philip, go ahead.
That's fine. Tom asked the question I wanted to ask, so I've got my answer. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right, now I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Thanks, Victor. Motion's carried.
And I have the sun in line. I can't tell.
All right. We have a motion moved by Brent and seconded by Bill. Whereas council declared 1867 Crow Lake Road surplus to its needs pursuant to Resolution 369/2020 and authorized staff to proceed with the sale by request for proposal. And whereas request for proposal CS 2021-03 was published September the 20th, 2021 and closed on October the 6th, 2021 with one compliant bid received. And whereas the bid meets all the requirements of the RFP and staff recommend proceeding with the sale of the successful bidder. Now, therefore, be it resolved that council accept the bid received from Diana Meeks for the purchase price of $150,001 plus HST, and that staff be directed to engage legal counsel to prepare an agreement of purchase and sale and complete the sale transaction. And further, that the mayor and CAO clerk be authorized to sign any documents required to complete the sale transaction. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried.
Madam Mayor, I noticed that Cindy Kelsey is just disconnected, just so you know.
Okay. All right. We have a motion moved by Brett and seconded by Philip. That council approve in principle the recommendation of the CAO clerk to close that part of the unopened road allowance between lots 24 and 25, concession 4, Hinchinbrook, described on the map attached as applied for by the owner of 1147 Long Lake Road. That council acknowledge the interest of the adjoining property owners located at 1273 Long Lake Road to purchase their half share of the road allowance, provided the owners share in the cost of the road closure process. And that we proceed to a public meeting to close that said road allowance before passing said bylaw. Any discussion? All those in favor? Kathy, I can't see. Oh, I see Victor.
Yes, you have, all of them put their hand up, Madam Mayor.
Okay, motion's carried. All right. Now, committees we have moved by Tom and seconded by Bill that council receive the minutes of the Eastern Ontario Trails Alliance Board meeting dated June the 10th, 2021 for information. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. We're moving right along here, folks. All right, we now have a delegation by Bill Bowick, greening of the park proposal. Bill, you're on mute, so you need to take yourself off mute and welcome to our Zoom meeting.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for allowing me to join you.
You're welcome. Cindy, are you sharing Bill's presentation?
I've shared the screen. I've allowed him to share the screen, so he'll be calling it up on his computer.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yes, Madam Mayor, this title slide says this is a proposal. I hope by the end of the evening it'll be a plan. The proposal is for greening of the park with the beach and Sharber Lake. The proposal.
Bill, we don't have anything up yet.
Oh, you don't?
There's nothing on our screen. No.
Uh-oh.
Cindy, maybe you could share for us.
I don't have the full PowerPoint, but Bill, if you click on the share screen button at the bottom, you should be able to click on it and share your screen.
Yeah, let's see here. Oh, share. I didn't do that.
Yeah. There we go.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
There you got it.
There we go. Okay. Now we've got it, Bill.
So the already heard about the first one. The proposal is to plan and fund a program of planting trees and shrubs in the beach park at Sharber Lake. And this, in effect, is the first step in the revitalization of the village. The downtown revitalization program has been going on for the last year or so. I want it to be a memorial to Rosemary Bowick, my late wife, and a salute to the village's beautiful volunteers and all the work they've done over the last 20 years. The expectation is that there'll be some recognition in the park of Rosemary's role in the establishment of the village is beautiful. Chinese proverbs are essential. Best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is now. And what makes this significant is I think there has only been one tree planted in the park in the last 20 years. So it's overdue. General considerations. There's a lot of words here. A lot of words here, but I think I can summarize them. Number one is the plan should be for beauty and utility. Number two is the variety of trees and bushes and stuff should provide an learning opportunity for adults and children alike. Tree varieties will be chosen from Eastern Ontario, Eastern North America, so they'll have a better chance of survival. There will be a mix of very young trees and more mature trees, so that as the older ones die off, the younger ones will replace them. Trees and shrubs will be positioned so they can be protected from public activity. And it's expected that as this plan proceeds, there will be other changes and things. So we build a little wiggle room into it. These six basic things constitute a strategic plan of sorts. And the focus of that strategic plan, of course, is the beach. And the reason for that is that the beach here in Sharbert Lake is sort of a major asset to the community. It's a place that people go to visit, and it does need work. And also it's part of this village downtown revitalization, and it'll be the first concrete step in that process. As part of my preparation for this, I did a rough inventory of the park today, and I counted 23 things that we call trees. And these are things with a single trunk, and they're at least 2 meters high. And there are 3 stumps. The stumps are big trees that have been cut down in the last 3 to 5 years. There are 6 Manitoba maples, not everybody's tree, and they're not long lived. 5 of them are over mature. That's nice language for being old, so they're on their last legs. 1 is a bush that's growing from an old stump. There are 8 ash trees. 2 of them are nice sound trees. 4 of them are dying, and 2 are struggling. And we've got the emerald ash borer here, the same as every municipality. Kingston has big programs doing replacement, trying to cover off for that. There's a Norway maple that's good, a white willow that's good, the Scotch pine that's struggling. It's got a dead branch hanging over the beach where the kids play. And it's got some black locust that are okay. The sugar maple that's struggling is the only one that's been planted. And there's a tremendous elm tree in the southwest corner of the park that really is quite spectacular because it's big and healthy in an area where all of the elm trees are dying. Just to show you what some of these look like, this is a Manitoba maple that's in the northeast corner of the park. And you can see there where a major branch has been cut off, and up in the top, there's dying sections in that tree still. The one down here is a Manitoba maple in the southeast corner of the park by the medical center. And you can see again where a major piece has been cut off, and this section out here is still dying. This is the stump in the middle of the park that used to provide some shade. That one was cut down, I think, about 3 years ago. For safety reasons, it was dropping branches everywhere. This is the line of trees along the north end of the park by the picnic shelter. And you can see at the top, these are ash trees, and you can see the dead branches up there. These ones here are more Manitoba maples. The one on the right will not last much longer. And this one, you can see dead portions up in here. So there's a pretty good chance that in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll lose half the trees that are still in the park. This is a sketch of the park the way it is today. The black marks here are the stumps. Those are major trees that have been removed. The brown things are trees and bushes that are dead or dying. So you've got them all around the park. And the green tree-like things here are healthy trees. These two on the two sides of the bandstand are ashes, and they're big, healthy trees. But ash are on borrowed time anyway, I think, but they might be okay. And the down in the corner here is the place where you most frequently see people having their picnic. And that's because you've got some, this is where the black, no, I can't remember what there. Anyway, the big elm is down here. So this is some healthy trees in the corner here that are still providing shade. If you take out the dead and dying, it becomes a pretty sparse looking park. You'll see that there's no shade for the play structures. There's nothing to prevent the sight of the toilets or anything else for that matter. So the plan, the plan is to add in trees, and I'll go through these in sequence. The first one here is a red maple. It's down beside the sugar maple that was planted already, and it'll provide some shelter near the picnic shelter. There's 2 American beech, which will give shade to the play structure area. There's an eastern black walnut down here towards the north part of the park. There's a couple of ginkgos. If you want to know what they are, you're going to have to ask somebody else. I had pictures of them, but I can't describe them very well. Downy serviceberry. These things are along the Medical Center Road, and they kind of protect the park from the traffic on Medical Center Road. The shagbark hickory is one that's native to this area, but you don't see it very often. It's got a very interesting flower on it. Canada plum, one of those will be put up there to provide some shelter from the toilet, so you don't have to look at the toilets when you're eating your picnic. High bush cranberries are along the road, and they kind of protect the park and the toilet area from the Medical Center Road. Dannyberries will be along the fence beside the Lions picnic shelter, and they will grow up under the ones that are dying there now, so that we'll have some continuing shelter from the parking. And down here, we've got red dogwood and pussy willows that provide some support for the shoreline. So that's the plan that's in place right now. And I think that would make a much more attractive and a more livable park, because you will be able to get some shade, and it will protect the site from other things. This is the shopping list, but I'm not going to spend any time on it because they're mostly just guesses. We've done some research into suppliers, but we haven't got them yet. So these are ballpark figures at the best. The cost picture, the purchase price, as I said, we've done some price research. We don't have commitments. Cheryl talked to 3 different suppliers. The best answers we got were from Tracy Hart here in the village. She's the only one that put any effort into it, but her suppliers are limited, so it's going to take some more research there. The guesstimate is about $4,000 for the purchase of trees and shrubs. Some of these should have protective borders. The one that was planted, the sugar maple that's been planted, it's one of the reasons it's in trouble is because it's damaged trunk by the whippersnapper. So the protective borders is just a covering of mulch within a couple of feet of the trunk so that the machinery doesn't go right up against the tree. And in fact, that kind of border makes the lawn cutting easier because you don't have a hard surface to bump up against. The installation cost, we're guessing that it'll be another 4,000. I'm not asking for township help, but the township staff, I'm sure, will be involved in the planning as we move forward, and they may offer it. The fundraising proposal, I would like to publish an article in the paper describing the tree project and say it's a memorial to Rosemary. People wishing to contribute can write checks payable to me in trust. I'll open a bank account and pay for the deposit of all donations and pay for all the tree and shrub purchases and the installation costs out of that account. And on project completion, deliver a list of contributors and their amounts to the township and ask township staff to issue tax receipts for individual donations. Michael, when he first heard this, thought it wasn't quite appropriate. He's checked into it further, and there are a couple of administrative things we have to be careful of. But this is quite legal to take donations in this way as gifts to the township and issue tax receipts. So I'm not asking for any money from the township. If there's a shortfall, I'll cover it. If there's an overflow, we'll put it into other tree projects within the village. The draft timeline, this is not the same as what was in your handout package because things are changing as we go. But you can see that there's an awful lot of work has already been done. This package or some form of it has been reviewed by ongoing just one-on-one discussions with Tyson and with Adriana. It's been presented to the Downtown Revitalization Committee and the Economic Development Committee. I've met with Village is Beautiful and they are supportive. We still have to get firm quotes on prices and a firm commitment on planning. We have to work out a plan on that. And I'm asking for approval of the fundraising plan today. And we should have a budget finalized by November and presentation to council as is required. And then the planting will take place in late April, early May. That's the earliest that they suggest doing it. And then a celebration of life to recognize it as a memorial to Rosemary. So the ask is the Township of Central Frontenac being asked for two things. One is formal approval for a volunteer committee to purchase trees and shrubs and have them planted according to plan, and recognition of this as a purchase, this purchase as a citizen's gift to the township, so the appropriate receipts can be issued. So thank you very much again for allowing me to appear here today. And Madam Mayor, I would take questions if anybody has them.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Does anyone have any questions? Bill McDonald, go ahead.
Yes, through Madam Mayor to Bill Boyd. It's not a question, but rather a comment, but just from personal experience in working with trees. One of the species that you're suggesting you're putting in are the beech trees, the American beech trees. And the American beech tree in this area is also under attack as much as the emerald ash borer is doing to the ash trees, especially the white ash trees. What you'll find is that the beech trees are also dying out, and it might be a species that you might want to consider a different selection than the American beech tree for the locations you've suggested. But personally, I'm personally prepared to contribute to the program, and I think it's a wonderful start. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you for that input, Bill. We'll look into a replacement for that.
Okay. Bill, if you could put your screen down so I can see the rest of council and see hands that might be up.
There.
There we go. Okay. All right. Does anyone else have any questions? Brent, go ahead. Go ahead, Brent.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like obviously speak in favor of this. It's a great tribute to both Bill and Rosemary, who have been so active in both the Downtown Revitalization Committee as well as the larger Economic Development Committee. And as Bill had pointed out, presentations were made, and a lot of this detail. I commend Bill for the amount of work and research and leadership that he's showing in this. Certainly part of downtown revitalization is revitalization of the beach area, and to the time and the attention in terms of the selection of particular species of trees, as well as essentially replacing a lot of the trees that are dying at some point in time, given the condition that he's already indicated. We're going to lose a lot of tree cover, and I know that it is an imperative of a lot of municipalities to protect the tree canopy. So this kind of hits on all of those fronts, and I commend everyone to offer support to this plan. I think it's a great idea.
Excellent. Anyone else? Okay, I have a motion to, okay, Tom, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. Considering all the work that Rosemary's done over the years, I too fully support this greening of the park project, and I fully support Bill and his committee in this endeavor. So I would definitely support it.
Excellent. I think we all know that if you've been at that beach on a hot summer day, there is never enough trees that you can get under because they're already full of people under them. So this is something that has been needed at that area, and Rosemary would be smiling to know that those trees would be planted on that beach. All right, I have a motion. The motion is moved by Victor and seconded by Nikki. That council receive the presentation from Bill Bowick, and further, that council support this proposal, greening of the park to A, plan and fund a program of planting trees and shrubs at the Charlotte Lake Beach and Park. B, dedicate this as a memorial to the late Rosemary Bowick of Charlotte Lake and a salute to all the Village Beautiful volunteers who have worked to make our community more attractive. And C, formally recognize Rosemary's role in the establishment of Villages Beautiful by having a plaque installed at the Charlotte Lake Beach and Park. And further, that council recognize this project as a citizen's gift to the municipality, and that any funds donated for this project flow through the treasurer, who will issue tax receipts. And further, that council authorize staff to work with the volunteer committee to formalize the details of this proposal, including the purchasing and planting of the trees and shrubs, and bring back a report to council on the progress of the project. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That is a unanimous vote. It's carried. Thank you again, Bill, for your presentation and for your thoughtfulness.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you all councilors.
Thank you, Bill.
Support.
Thank you. All right, we have communication and correspondence next. Moved by Philip and seconded by Cindy, that council receive and file the following correspondence, and it's 1 to 7 in your packages. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Okay. There's no bylaws. Any notice of motion?
None.
Any giving of notice of motion?
No.
Any new or other business?
No.
Okay, and there's no closed session?
Correct.
So I have a motion to adjourn, and that is moved by Bill and seconded by Brent, that bylaw 2021-56 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council meeting held October the 12th, 2021 be read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed this 12th day of October 2021. And further, this meeting be adjourned until 4 p.m. October the 26th, 21. Said meeting to be held virtually. And the adjournment time is 4:43 if you're all in favor of that motion. Motion's carried.
Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Night, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.